got a legend. We got a sports legend, a sports talk legend in the building right
OG
here, man.
in the game.
No doubt, no doubt.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. The OG that got us to where we at right now.
No doubt. No doubt.
You know, they call me the pod father. They call me the pod father.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we got you.
Anybody who says you not got to deal with me.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I appreciate that, bro.
We got you. We got you, man. This is of Two Live Stews fame. He's one half of the Two Live Stews. That's the homie Doug Stewart. Doug, man, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us. What's poppin'?
No problem, man. Thank y'all for having me, bro. It's been a minute.
Yes, sir.
But if I could come on and chop it up with y'all for a minute, I'll do that. I love that. I do that for free. They were paying me at one point, but I do it for free.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, we appreciate that.
They say if you can't do it for free, you can't make no money off of it no way, right?
Exactly. That's it.
Sir.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Doug, I appreciate that because we ain't got no bread to pay you. but man, otherwise, man, let me just say this real quickly, and we get to the questions and all that, man. You are a part of this family here at the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast.
Facts.
I remember a little over 4 years ago, you sought us out. We came onto your network. We generated fans. We got a fan base going, and you were still doing your thing with the sports talk circuit with your own show, the Doug Stewart Show.
Day ones are still here right now.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. And so we just want to say we appreciate you for putting us on your platform and allowing us to grow, and that also develop relationships. Like we've been on other shows. I've actually traveled to cities, just to do other guys' shows and all that good stuff. So
made a little bit of money. Just made a little bit of money.
A little bit.
Man. I mean, it's interesting when I started doing my show after we got shown the door in like 2012. I went for a couple of years waiting for another radio job. Never happened. Hate to even get to that because it's very, very political. Mm-hmm. But I was like, at some point, I'm going to go ahead and tried to do a podcast. And then it kind of morphed into a network. And I think from the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, we probably had between 15 and 20 shows that from listeners popped up on the network as well and did their own shows. And you guys had one, and we love to hear different perspectives from people and from different parts of the country. And so y'all up in the DMV area, that's perfect. People interested to find out what's going on in Baltimore or what's going on in DC sports related. So it was a perfect fit, perfect match. Y'all still doing it. I'm not really doing it anymore. I mean, I still have the capability.
Yes, sir.
But I just haven't had the time. Like I can pop on the mic right now. I still got the whole setup and everything. I haven't been able to do it. But to have y'all's voices, man, coming from the DMV area, man, is super cool to hear the opinions from up there and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, a lot has come from the Doug Stewart Show and the Two Live Stews Radio Network, but it's all good, man. I enjoy seeing you guys' show and other shows once again that sprouted up from the original show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, no matter how much you don't do the show anymore, Doug, that's still in your blood. That's why you still have that microphone set up and that stage set up and all that stuff. That just never leaves your blood.
I personally enjoy watching everybody on social media talking about, y'all, Doug about to do one today. He about to go crazy, about to do one today.
Right.
I personally enjoy that.
Yeah, man. And it is like, even before I had this long layoff, I don't think I've done a show since February. Mm-hmm. But I used to go through periods of, a month and a half or so, and not doing a show. But once I got back on it, I mean, we did it so long. We did it 12 years. So do the math.
Yeah.
12 years on radio, and we did a show 5 days a week. We used to take off the whole month of December now. We used to do that. Okay. When you do the math, 12 years, 5 shows a week for, 48 weeks out of the year. It's a lot of shows. And so that coupled in with the ESPN stuff and whatnot. So it's like riding a bike. This thing here is like riding a bike.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of, going back to February when the last time we did a show, and obviously since February, we've, been on such a shutdown of, you know, everything from the economy to jobs to schools, you know, due to COVID. How are you personally dealing with COVID-19, and how has your family been able to navigate through this time?
Well, thank God we haven't had any corona issues in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So at the start of corona, my two oldest daughters was living here. My youngest daughter, obviously wife. My father-in-law has been living with us. And so knock on wood, we haven't had any issues with corona. The job's been great. I actually got a promotion. That's the main reason why I haven't been doing any show.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
Yes, sir.
I got promoted to associate partner with New York Life. Okay, so I started with New York Life in 2018, got promoted in June this year to associate partner. And so my job now, all I do is, I don't even write life insurance anymore. All I do now is hire and develop new agents into my office.
Yes, sir.
And so with that, with the training for that, man, I just haven't had the time. Like, they're really pushing a brother. When I tell you this new position, but it's all worth it. I love my job. I love the company I'm with. It's just that, you know, I just don't have the time to do the show like I want to. At some point, I'm gonna pop on and surprise y'all.
Yeah.
But
we expecting it.
Yeah, as far as handling everything during the virus, I basically worked from my home office before the virus. Okay. So my job entailed as an agent, 90% of the customers I talked to were over the phone. And so now we're probably doing 90% over the phone now, where I'm interviewing people, hiring people, going through all of the training. We're doing it all on Zoom, the same platform that we're on right now. And so it's nothing really changed for me as far as the amount of time that I was out in the streets or meeting in the office. We only met in the office like one time a week. So really it's no different than what I did, my daily schedule, than it was before COVID.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, we ain't gonna hold you no further, man. We gonna do what you do the best, man.
Okay.
We're gonna talk a little, you know what I mean? And you know, my eyes lit up immediately offline when you said Lamar Jackson. You know, that's my favorite guy to talk about right now.
Oh,
I love. So just tell me how you feel. Obviously, Lamar Jackson, MVP. They just lost to Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? You see me repping crazy,
right.
Crazy. And
Stop that.
I mean, your take, because look, obviously we wasn't expecting him to have that same kind of season that he had last year. But how do you feel about Lamar Jackson and, you know, where he's at right now from MVP season to have this year?
Well, first of all, I think that the Ravens, they aren't doing, and I talked about this on Facebook. We got a Facebook chat group, Two Live Two's Facebook chat group with like 6,000 members. And I talked about this like after game 2 or 3 this year. They aren't utilizing him the way that they did last year. With the offense that they had, where they had the 3 and 4 tight end sets. You know, it's easy to throw to a tight end. Okay, those are some easy throws to make. It's usually a mismatch combination. If you guys ever played Madden before, right? Okay, so you remember on Madden, man, when you had Vic and Algie Crumpler, like that's an easy throw, read and throw for a quarterback. And so he's not the, you know, Joe Montana or Dan Marino. So they made him real comfortable having those 3 and 4 tight end sets. They're not doing that this year. They traded Hayden Hurst to the Falcons, which was definitely a good piece to have if you're Lamar Jackson. I think they're trying to incorporate more of wide receiver play. You saw they signed Des Bryant. Yep. I just don't think that that's going to be the strong suit for this young man. What you saw last year in his MVP season is his strong suit. Having the extra tight ends, you know, on the field is extra blocking that helps them with the run game. Okay, right. And so when you take those tight ends off and you add the smaller, especially wide receivers, that's less blocking, that's less yardage out of the running game, and it just throws everything off from what they did so well last year. That being said, he's got to step up, man. I mean, whenever they have a game where they're going against a quote-unquote good team, he's struggling. He's struggling, man, and I don't know whether he's pressing. It does seem like he's pressing sometime to me. Here's the thing. I think you don't win MVP on a whim. Like it wasn't luck that helped them or caused them to win the MVP last year.
Right.
So he's got the talent. People forget what he did in college, even though college has nothing to do with the NFL. People forget how dynamic this kid was last year. And yeah, he might have some bad games, but don't forget the man was the MVP of the league. Mm-hmm. Okay, that just didn't happen. Right, that just didn't happen by luck. And so I think maybe it's going to be the progression that he gets better at throwing the football. Maybe they go back to what they were doing last year. And you got to remember, people forget. You remember when Michael Jordan came to the league and they couldn't get past Detroit? Jordan did not, and the Bulls did not win their first championship till year 7. Okay,
year 7,
so we're looking at this kid. We're looking at this kid now and expect him, because of what he did last year, we expect him to win a Super Bowl or at least make it to a Super Bowl. It's not that easy. It's a learning progression. I'm hoping maybe at some point we're going to look back and be like, after he wins 2 or 3 Super Bowls, man, y'all remember everybody was down on Lamar after he struggled against Pittsburgh, and that year after he won the MVP, he struggled. Same thing we said about Jordan until he did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think the kid's got a ton of upside, man. I hope Baltimore and the coaching staff there, I hope they stand by him and just let this man grow and find his way in the league. Simple as that.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you said. Look, he don't throw outside the numbers yet, and I'm not saying he'll never develop it. I'm not saying none of that, but it's and I hate to keep making this RG3 comparison, but it's like, look, he has a certain thing that he's going to be good at off the break.
Right.
Exploit that until he can do the other things.
Right.
The second you try to make him do something else, now we're looking at it, and then it's not like anybody outside of Marquise Brown, who we still don't really know if he's going to be good yet. It's not like nobody on the outside scares you on defense looking at this team. So it's like, all right, pack everything in close and make him run for his life. That team ran for 265 yards Sunday and lost.
Right. Yeah. And they would have won outside of the turnovers. If they didn't have the turnover, they probably were going to win that game. What are they, 5-2 or 4-2 right now?
5-2.
5-2. Yeah, they've lost 2 games. They should have won this past weekend in all likelihood. They probably should have won this weekend. They didn't. They're 5-2. Legitimately could be 6-1. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it seems like after they lose, there's so much expected of them that it's a letdown, and everybody in the media goes crazy. They're 5-2. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to look at the bright side as well sometimes.
Yeah, Doug, I agree. I agree, Doug, with some of the things you said. We are 5-2, and I think despite the fact we're 2 games out of the division, I think we're still in a good spot. Like, can we still accomplish all our goals? Yes, we can. We're right now we make the playoffs as the 5 seed, so anything is possible in that regard. Maestro, when you said something about throwing outside the numbers when I was at your crib, watching the game the other day. This is exactly what I was saying preseason when we had a couple of guests on our show as far as him wanting to improve on his passing. And everybody got on me about, well, he threw for 36 touchdowns. What do you mean he needs to improve? It's like, I'm not talking about the stats. I'm not talking about the lack of, throwing interceptions, which is great. I mean, he threw 36 and 6. That's a pretty good ratio to have. It's not the touchdowns. It's not the throwing yards. It's, can he throw outside the numbers, versus him throwing in the middle of the field, because he's great at throwing in the middle of the field.
Like every quarterback should be coming into the league. Like, when you don't have to throw out to the outs. Yeah.
But going back to the previous quarterback, Flacco's problem early on was he couldn't throw in the middle of the field, but he was so good at throwing outside the numbers. Now with Lamar coming in, Lamar's great at throwing in the middle of the field, but when you need some throws and some catches down the sideline to stop the clock in those, last minute situations, I'm still waiting for Lamar to make those kinds of throws.
Right.
Yeah. So I agree with what you're saying there.
I hate to make excuses for him because hell, he's a pro.
Mm-hmm.
This is what, his 3rd year or 2nd year?
Third year.
This is third year. I mean, I think he'll improve, and it seems like to me it's important to him. Mm-hmm. Like there was this argument about Vic, and he's clearly the closest person to Vic. There was this argument about Vic that he really didn't care, or he really wasn't that concerned about getting better.
Yeah,
I think this kid wants to be good.
Right.
Okay, and that's half the battle, in my opinion, man. So give him some time. I mean, they play in their tough division. I mean, that Chiefs team from last year is one of the best teams we've probably ever seen. I mean, at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And so, it's a situation where they kind of run into a buzzsaw. I mean, don't forget, once again, I'm going to mention it again. They had Pittsburgh where they wanted them this week.
Yeah, all game. Okay? Literally all game.
Yeah. So if he makes some adjustment, he grows as a quarterback. The later we come into the season, there's a very good chance they're going to see each other in the playoffs, So, let's let the year play out.
All right, so I'm coming up. Okay. Are you concerned about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs becoming the New England Patriots and Lamar Jackson never crossing that threshold?
No, I don't think so. I don't see that. I don't see that. And Mahomes has struggled in a couple. I wouldn't say struggle, but some teams have kind of figured him out to a degree this year. I still think they're probably the best team in the league. Clearly, right now, there's a lot of teams that regressed this year, but I don't think that they're going to have a run like the Patriots. See, the thing about the Patriots you got to remember is the Patriots got everybody's playbook over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay? They got everybody's playbook. Y'all supposed to laugh at that, man.
Oh, no.
We know what you mean.
I have no comedy in that because they had my playbook.
Right.
They had everybody's playbook.
I don't find it funny.
They had everybody's playbook over the last 20 years under Belichick and Tom Brady. So I don't think we'll ever see another run like that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the way free agency is, the way the game's played now, man, the game is vertical as opposed to, up the middle of the field, run, 5 yards in a cloud of dust. I mean, these offensive schemes are so sophisticated now, bro. I don't see another team having a run like the Patriots have had over the last 15, 20 years.
How you feel about the Patriots' fall of a dynasty that is clearly happening?
Well, I mean, listen, another thing. I'm always going to root for the black quarterback.
Yes, sir.
Bottom line, because
I've
studied and talked about the plight of the black quarterback over the years, going back to, I don't know, Doug Williams, all right? Mm-hmm. And so I hate – it's crazy because I hate the Patriots, but I want Cam to succeed. I wanted Cam to succeed so much just to shut up the naysayers. And to watch him struggle, man, and make the bad plays. And it's not really been bad, but it's not been Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Not the same plays, not 23 years old. So maybe Father Time has caught up with him a little bit. That being said, man, it's interesting because they don't have a good team.
You're right.
Okay, they don't have good players around Cam, but no one in national media really wants to focus on that. At the end of the day, the quarterback gets all the glory and he takes all of the blame. So I get it. I just wish that they could have a better season for Cam's sake, man, because I told y'all this before we came on. I hate for people to have the ability to say, I told you so.
Yeah.
And so Cam has haters galore. People hate the style of play of Lamar Jackson. So that's not sustainable. A running quarterback can never do. So now those people over the past weekend, they have a voice now. It was quiet all before, but when they got in the car, they was talking again. Told you Lamar ain't all of that. I hate that.
I don't like that.
You're forgetting about an MVP season, running and passing and winning games. And the minute that this kid has a bad subpar game, you go in on him. I mean, that's fake to me.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't like it, even though I like it because it's Pittsburgh doing it in Lamar Jackson's case. I don't like it in Cam Newton's case, even though it's hard for me to defend him right now.
Yeah, it is.
It's really hard for me to defend him because turnovers is coming with it. So it'd be one thing if you was doing okay, but y'all was losing. I could say, well, it's not his fault. He doing this thing. But he's really not, and then he still and look, I'm not gonna never tell no black man don't, be out here strutting be cocky, be arrogant. We have to be.
Right.
But it's a bad taste in your mouth right this second. Right. I'm not going to say, hey, just, chill.
Right.
But would it smooth over a little different if Cam Newton wasn't so brash, wasn't so right.
Yeah,
if the swag wasn't so high, you know what I'm saying? Like, just turn it down a little bit, but he's not gonna turn it down because that's who he is. Yeah. But it's like fuel to the fire because he gonna have the terrible game he had last week, but he's still gonna wear the outrageous outfit after the game.
Right.
All right, enough about
androgyny.
All right, enough about this. Let's get to your team, the Falcons, Doug. Give me your thoughts about what's been happening.
This ain't gonna take long.
You fired the coach, you fired the GM, and now they're talking about trading Julio Jones and getting rid of some of the good players on the team. Give me your thoughts overall so far. What's going on?
Hold on, that's a real thing.
I mean, there's rumors. It's rumors. They're talking about Green Bay. I read something today about Green Bay.
Yep, exactly.
Do not do that.
Bottom line is they're cursed, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way you can say anything else, and there's a lot of reasons on why they might be cursed. They built the new stadium. They made this historic Black Atlanta church. They claimed eminent domain and made them, tore the church down, and that's where the new stadium is built at. But they've lost games in the most horrible way, going back to the Super Bowl. And if y'all remember, I was doing the podcast during the Super Bowl. And I said it then. The way they lost that Super Bowl, it's going to take a long time for this organization to get back on track. Yeah. Because that's still the most hurtful thing I've ever seen in my life.
No doubt.
Then the way they lose 3, not 2, but 3 ball games this year in dramatic fashion at the very end, the team is cursed, man. There's no other way to say
it. Man. Not knowing what an onside kick is, that'll definitely lose you some ball games right there, man.
Man, that tall girlie a couple of weeks ago, man.
Yeah.
That tall girlie, he forgot he couldn't score.
Yeah, that's crazy. Pros. We talking to people that get paid to do this. Yeah.
Exactly. And what's so crazy about that, Doug, was that the Detroit Lions defender was right there, and he was like, it's a touchdown. Like, they wanted to get Stafford the ball back because they know their defense ain't good enough to close the ball game out.
Yeah, everybody was in on the joke except for Todd Gurley. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looked like to me. Like, you can tell, like, they were stepping to a side, letting him run, but they were kind of giving the impression by touching him, like, listen, we were really trying to attack you, but they really weren't. You look at the video, they're like parting the Red Sea. And then the one dude has him, but he kind of pushes him in the end zone. It was a bad look, but that's the Falcons. I mean, we literally are used to that, bro. We're used to it down here.
Man, how does this curse go away, man? I know you ain't got too much time. I just want to know how you think this curse is going to go away, man. How many Hail Marys?
I don't know, man. I have no clue. I've been here. This is my 25th year in Atlanta, man. And when I tell you I've seen some heartbreaking sports games here, if you're talking about the Falcons and the Hawks, I mean, just heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak, man. It's unbelievable.
Man. I got one last question for you, Doug.
Okay.
And I just want to get your thoughts on, and this is some lighter news here, your Lakers win the chip in the bubble. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Rajon Rondo, they get it done. Tell the people how you feeling, man.
Hey, man, it was only proper. I mean, with losing the great Kobe Bean Bryant this year, it was only proper. I thought we had the best team. My brother-in-law bet me $500 that the Clippers were going to get further in the playoffs than the Lakers, so I won there as well. But I think that it was kind of like it was written, man. They were doing this thing for Kobe. The only thing, they tried to come out in the Black Mamba jerseys and win Game 6, and they didn't do that. That was kind of hurtful. Yeah. But this year is, COVID, losing Kobe, and the Lakers winning it, I'd say, for Kobe, who most of those guys played against him and were very fond of him, especially the younger players like Anthony Davis, man. Those guys grew up. Kobe was there, Michael Jordan. Yeah, and it's just sad, man. It's unbelievable. It's still unbelievable to think that this man is gone, and especially in such a tragic way. But I'm happy the Lakers got 17, We like Ric Flair, 17-time world champions. Yes, sir. I mean, I was happy, man. And you know, anybody that said they wanted to put an asterisk on this championship is crazy. I think that they actually get a lot of kudos for being professionals and playing hard without that fanfare behind them, without the fans cheering. Okay.
Under those conditions too, man.
Under those conditions, yeah. I mean, really, we didn't have home court advantage like we normally would.
Yeah, right.
Think about it like that. A game 7 is in our stadium.
It's a neutral game.
With fans going crazy. These playoffs were pretty much like neutral games. You're exactly right.
They all were neutral, yeah.
So very excited. I've been a Laker fan since 81, 82.
Yes, sir.
I'm from the great state of South Carolina. I have to always explain this to people, why are you a Laker fan? You live in Georgia. I'm from South Carolina. And when I grew up, all that was on TV on Sundays was Lakers, Celtics, 76ers. All my friends were 76ers fans. I wanted to be a Laker fan. I like Norm Nixon. I like Jamal Welch. I like Kareem. I like Magic, who came along a little bit later. That's my team forever and ever, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No doubt. Hey, tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Hey, man, Doug Stewart. If your listeners, I guess the majority of your listeners are in the DMV area. Is that probably right?
Between there and Atlanta.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So anybody listening to this, man, I am hiring. New York Life is hiring, and if you ever thought about getting into the financial services industry, man, and you live in Metro Atlanta, maybe you have a son that just graduated from college, this is a phenomenal way to get into the business, okay? New York Life just doesn't sell life insurance. We also do investments, retirement planning, mutual funds, stocks, bonds. We do it all. You just have to pass and get different licenses to sell different investment products. If you know anyone in the Metro Atlanta area, have them reach out to me, 678-770-8073. All right, that's 678-770-8073. Not guaranteeing I can give anybody a job, but we'll go through the interview process for sure on their recommendation that they listen to the Barbershop Sports Talk podcast.
Right on.
That's right.
Right on.
That's right. Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
OG, man, we gotta do it more often, OG.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate it, bro. I'm sorry I got to run, man, but I got to jump on another one of these calls here in a second.
All right, OG.
All right, man.
Appreciate
no doubt.
you, man.
Thank you so much for doing this, man. Appreciate
it. No problem.
Love, man.
Peace.
One love.